So I'm driving home the other day, and I almost smacked in the back of this VW bus that stalled out on the side of the road. And I decided that this is a really dangerous situation, so I should help this poor woman out, which was mistake number one. And so I decided that I should dial the highway patrol. Mistake number two. They tell me I should hang up and dial 911. I sit on hold with 911 for 23 minutes before anyone ever picks up the line. 23 minutes. I mean, the only way this could have been any more excruciating is if I had to sit through another AFA award ceremony watching Natalie Sintek not win an event. It's really funny to some people. But here's the thing. 911 is this country's lifeline to safety during the most dire of circumstances. Well, that's recorded. 911 is this country's lifeline to safety during the most dire of circumstances. But lately, these phone lines have been more clogged than a porta potty at a chili cook-off biker rally. So today, we'll first examine the problems of the current 911 system. Second, we'll examine the causes of what is clogging up America's most important phone lines, with the exception of phone sex operators. And finally, I will give you some solutions that can solve everything. And by everything, I really mean 911 emergency calls. And by 911 emergency calls, I really mean 911 emergency calls. Problems, yes, we have them. According to the National Emergency Number Association, whose website, nina.org, last accessed March 21st, 2008, states that the national average wait time for a 911 call is 7 minutes. 7 minutes. That's the time it takes for the Family Guy to do 3 of those aside jokes that have nothing to do with the plot line. Which, by the way, am I the only guy who thinks that every character's eyes on that show looks like they're staring through an 11-year-old's vagina? I mean, seriously, check this out. Doesn't it look like he just took a mechanic sleeper and he just slid right underneath a naked 11-year-old girl? Oh, I'm the only one, I'm so sure. The real joke is that this is my only visual aid. Here's the thing. If I'm hiding in a closet, listening to my mother being brutally raped, which is where I would be because it's a lot safer in the closet. You know, if I'm listening to my mother, let's say she's getting fist fucked up the ass, right, Dad? You know what I'm talking about. And she's going slamming into it and everything else, right? If I'm on hold with 911, I'm going to be going berserk. Berserk because some old biddy has her cat stuck up in a tree and I'm on hold. I mean, it should be the job of every city in this nation to deal with this first, all right? So, street lights, education, subway, 911. Pick up each and every time. That's it. End of discussion. So with that in mind, why are we facing all of these problems? Well, the 2 causes are rather simple. First, there's too many people calling 911. And second, we don't have enough operators to handle the volume of calls. So first, the plethora of phone calls. Now, this is what I know to be true in life. Less than 5% of the population screws it up for everybody else. In a recent interview from March 26, 2008 with Ray Conchado, a paramedic from San Jose, California, he revealed that he'd gone out on a 911 call when someone called in because they found lint in their belly button and it freaked them out. Look, here's the thing. There's nothing preventing me from standing up in a crowded theater and yelling, "Fire." But if there's not a fire, I'm going to be arrested. And these people should be held accountable for their actions too, especially if it means the possibility of affecting other people's lives. No. The ACLU, whose website, aclu.com, last accessed March 26, 2008, states that, quote, "These people cannot be held accountable for their actions since the majority of 911 calls are wrong numbers." Wrong numbers? No, look, here's what it is. You're drunk and you're stupid and you think you're dialing 311. Wait, which, by the way, should we even have the numbers be that close together? Still, even if you don't, even if you do believe with the ACLU, which you shouldn't, which according to the director of National Police Organization, Robert Scully, who stated that 95% of all 911 calls are actually non-emergencies. But still, even if you have to side with the ACLU, which again, you should never do just on general principle, but if you have to side with them, shouldn't the people who are making these wrong numbers be singled out? I mean, shouldn't they be made aware that they cannot handle the redial function on their cell phone and thus cannot handle technology and thus should be slapped? You know, when I wrote that joke, I actually typed it out as salt. So Might be a little funnier that way. And then salt. Yeah, for sure. Second, we don't have enough operators to handle the volume of calls. And this is the same old story we always hear. Oh, the system's so overtaxed and we don't have enough money. What do we have enough money for? I mean, seriously, you shelled out enough money for a whole new fleet of right-hand drive Chevettes for the meter maid pussies last year. One of those Chevettes would go to keep somebody else being operators. But no. According to a March 26, 2005 Canadian Broadcast and Television News Network airing on September 11th in New York City, so many phone calls were placed into the emergency call center that many of the calls were never even answered. Of the ones that were, only 130 were appropriately logged, categorized, and handled in a professional manner. But I can even solve this 911 problem if you'll just wait on hold for my upcoming solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the shittiest joke I've ever written. Solutions! Yes, I have them. How many? 4. Number 1, we need to start fining the people who are abusing 911, and a hearty fine too, because, you know, that's what governments always do. So, Mr. Belly Button Lint guy, you gotta call a cop to come off his beat, come over and calm you down? Fine. No, literally, fine. $500! Bam! Generating revenue! You see what I'm doing there? I'm making money off of 911 instead of losing money. No. The ACLU is going to say, oh, it's a slippery slope. People are going to be afraid to call 911. Just shut up, all right? The only problem with that plan is when people who call 911 don't have enough money to pay their fines. And that's why I say we only roll out the ambulances for the taxpayers. Sorry, buddy. We got to see a couple of W-2s before we put you on the gurney. Number 2, once we identify you as a habitual offender of abusing 911, you lose your 911 privileges. It's kind of like the 3 strikes rule. You know, you get a couple of questionable calls and then you're done. And I don't care if you call in saying you're on fire and you're being raped and the penis going inside you is on fire, nothing. We say, you know what, good luck with that, goodbye. People are going to like that at first, but they'll get used to it over time. Number 3, shouldn't we have a 912 number for all these chicken shit calls? I mean, seriously, I cannot be the only person to think about this. But during an exhaustive research process, which I conducted, the most recent article I could find from a major news source publication was a January 9th, 1997 article from the Wall Street Journal, which advocated people calling 311 instead of 911. That was 10 years ago! I mean, where are all the PSAs? All we ever see are these crappy public service announcements like, hi, I'm Betty White, you should get your pet spayed and neutered, or telling people not to discriminate against people with AIDS, whatever that means. And by the way, has that ever worked, like once, in the history of mankind? I mean, has anybody ever said, oh gee, you know, I was going to go out and open up a can of whoop ass on a couple of AIDS-riddled, emaciated Skeletors, but I'm not now. I'm going to put down the SEAL Club, maybe tune in to a little NPR tonight. I got this bottle of Chardonnay I've been meaning. I got this book of Hemingway I've been reading. No, nobody ever says that. What you need to hear is, hey, you old F, don't call 911 unless it really means something. Otherwise, we're going to come over there and beat your ass with the receiver. That's your PSA right there, done and done. Solution number 4. Sorry, I worked up. Solution number 4. We take a tip from porn. That's right, porn. Imagine that. Me talking about porn. Look, phone sex operators have figured this out a long time ago. People are not afraid to work from home. And according to the August 2007 edition of Big Jugs magazine, I think they use this as a reference, but it is. Here's the thing. Phone sex operators have figured this out. When the main call station gets so overloaded with calls, the excess calls get sent to operators stationed at home who have a phone line installed for just this purpose. 911 should do the exact same thing. And if they're really smart, they'll use the exact same operators. So you get like sexy 911 calls. Yes, hello. What's your emergency? There's a fire. In my pants? Oh! I don't go the joke in sometimes. I'm just kind of laughing at you loud. Here's the thing. This would ensure that we have the right number of operators on a day-to-day basis versus how many we would need in an emergency crisis situation like September 11th. It also guarantees that everyone immediately speaks to an operator. So this would eliminate our need for hold music. So this would eliminate our need for Yoko Ono. So let's kill Yoko Ono. Seriously, let's fucking kill her. Okay, well, we've done it. More accurately, I've done it. I've given you the causes of the current 911 system. problems the 911 system, we give you the causes behind these problems, and I gave you some solutions that could solve the whole shebang. Look, 911 has not been updated since its implementation in 1968. It's time for an overhaul. When I called 911, if that had been a real emergency, I would have been long since dead before anyone ever picked up the line. Which is good, because no more Yoko Ono. But it's bad because it means I might have been raped by a flaming penis.